Put your hands where I can see them.
Show me your hands. This is the pace. Show me your hands. Right now! Show me your hands! Right now!
Scavenged, battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking hand. Her hand is trembling from some sort of neurodegenerative disease.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
You shouldn't be here. Something's very wrong with her. She's completely out of control.
Failure to comply. Suspect is displaying aggression. Officer, under duress! Officer, under duress!
Her eyes bulge with terror. Veins protrude on her forehead.
I am the police. Don't move. Don't move. Hands on your head. Suspect is armed and dangerous. Suspect is on the loose. Suspect at large. Officer, administer street justice at our own peril. That one extra lick with a baton or extra knee strike above was what was actually required. Suspect is under control. Suspect is under control.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
The situation looks bad. This is dangerous. You're 70% certain you always leave your gun loaded.
Officer in need of assistance! Suspect at large! Get on the ground!
Ma'am, please. We want to help you, but you need to lower that weapon.
Disturbance reported. Authorized deadly force. Sector, take the shot! Big red key! Big red key!
All right, this is how we do it. You hurl the tear bag in her face, already darting right, and immediately close the distance. Left hand grabs the barrel, right one breaks the wrist. No, that won't be necessary. Look closer. The gun, all three barrels, red and blue light shining through. It's not loaded.
Huh? My God, I think you're right.
What? This isn't a police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real. What is this? Police guns always have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this?
Grab the gun, right now. This might be your only chance.
No one ever cares anymore. Why would they treat me like this?
Poor woman. We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to visit me.
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8 and loneliness. Could be. Her hands were trembling and she did seem uncoordinated. But what are we gonna do with her?
Her scratched skin is warm to the touch, but the person inside doesn't even know you're there.
I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state, and without a gun, we could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family. That would just be a waste of paper. I mean, look at her. She's not going to respond to a station slip. Okay, that settles it. I'll contact my station after we wrap it up for the day. They can contact the sanitarium and... But I think we're done here for now.
Please, leave the radio on.
She stands motionless, just a heap. The woman stands. Is one of those things a police cap? She doesn't even flinch as you reach out and disentangle the familiar looking.
Oh, is that yours? It's your hat.
Hello again. No,
Just not.
it's pretty desolate here. I only hear the dogs bark at night and see the shadows move down the...
Teenagers skulking around. Gang members looking for a hole in the Union's defenses. Maybe Ruby too. But she wouldn't be able to tell from here.
Superstition. We can turn the...
The old woman still. The buzz of electric lights blends together.
Yes, I can't really sleep anymore. Only a few hours a night. It happens when you grow older. My suggestion is don't. Don't go any older than you already are. That's old enough. What's troubling your mind? Nay,
Because she's blind, which you seem to have forgotten.
this is my little cinder block town. I know what goes on around here.
She's being evaded.
There was a murder in Martinez. She might be a suspect.
Would you now? I know how this world works, and it doesn't work when people tell on each other. Ah, I should have known. This is yet another union mess. I'm not afraid of them, you know. We are not in the habit of being afraid around here. I'm not going anywhere. Perhaps there's something else the village can do for you, huh? Though we don't have much here. I can wash it for you. But it's going to take about a half an hour.
No, we must run around ceaselessly. It would be torture to stay put.
I could use a breather. It's been another track and field day.
Well, hand it over then, and I'll see. Must say, I'm proud of this one. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. I hope you'll have an easier life in your hands.
It's getting cold, this late in the night. Time to call.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
As you look at the floorboards in this corner of the shack, it's clear the edge of a floorboard next to it looks scratched. Hollow space underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make out the mixture of sand and sawdust below. Nothing particular catches your eye. Looks like more reeds. There might be something hidden. You stick your hand in and start combing through the sand. Dry, not like a small cylindrical object. You pull it out. A bullet. A 9mm bullet, to be exact. Fit for all muzzle loaders of that caliber. Like your own Villiers pistol. The floorboard isn't interested. Maybe the washerwoman is. You have enough to confront her with. It's extra ammunition. She's locked and loaded, ready to fight some cops. Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm, the polished wooden handle almost fusing into your palm. It reminds you of the day you first held it, with fear and respect, hoping you don't have to use it in vain. The sun, sheathe your sidearm, officer. A serious law official, cop by the book, should know. On the table, you see a bowl of water. The water reflects back a vague image of you. An old mirror hangs on the wall. The bed is comforting. Across the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The mattress feels soft and sheets warm. It only takes you moments for the world to fall away.
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces and all those names. All that laughter and screaming and scheming around. Every corner and every street.
Recorded in you, forever, on ferrotape.
On and on it goes, for untold hours.
Behold, there are millions of them down there.
It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. And you can never forget this shit.
All stuck on loop.
You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent, picking up litter and old newspapers.
Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the world. An address book you are. The map of it.
You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day, and you'll...
For the money, for the greater good.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. Trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make it okay. It won't put smoke back in her mouth.
Are you sure? You could be closing the door on a brilliant and special I knew you couldn't resist. He's got no idea what he's in for.
Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco is...
You can do it. It's nothing. Do it for the city. Go. Hey, Moneymouth. Indrak, the impeccable hustler provider of the 7th generation. It's showtime with Savvy. What? No, screw that shit show. You're at the center of this one. Come on down, contestant. You're about to make some money. No, you don't. You just keep muttering about your economic self-interest and not doing anything about it. Yeah, I heard you back there. What the hell was that? Did Ilona Wihuri Villaconi blame ghosts? How about Admiral Gustav Lestock? Listen, if you really want to make it in the big leagues, you need to reconceptualize. You need to become a millionaire. Now, how do you become a millionaire? And then what? Join the ranks of blue-collar criminals? Those guys, they're all financially illiterate. Only Savvy here knows how to dazzle and Of course you don't. You've never even been close to a sum with more than 3 zeros. Let's face it, you've been on a years-long losing streak. But Savvy's got your back. Savvy's going to book you a charter flight with 80 birds of prey on board to a land with a... Are you in? The spirit of ultra-liberalism, your charm, your spin, your winning hand. Attaboy, welcome to the final grind. Here we operate with money on a much higher level than the ordinary citizen. We feed it back into the machine. Stop. Let's start by getting you into the lucrative art market to diversify your assets and increase your ROI. Speaking of which, know any artists? Once we've brought in the millions, you can be a tree log for all I care. But he's also 12. We don't want to attract the attention of tax collectors. He does have potential, defying authority. Music is a pet project, not a viable business scheme. By all accounts, this place should be swarming with artist types. Go and support them like the state never could. Everyone must know you're a big fan.
Yes?
Our tenant, the policeman. Damn that girl.
And without anger, a long and harsh life has taught her not to buckle under pressure.
A bullet? You didn't put it there, did you?
Gone and hid things in there? She's usually a good tenant. And yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl. As I've done before when she's been in trouble or just looking for solitude. She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. What has she gotten herself into?
That's for the police to find out. Right there. Please answer each question to the best of your ability. I'm sure we have a few.
Yes, early with the dogs, around 8 o'clock, I think. I cleaned it. No. She's good company. Knows how to talk to an old woman. At my age, you don't get a lot of quality conversation.
Did she talk to you much?
No, she was mostly silent this time. She tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cast a few lines, but this time she mostly stayed in her room. How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent. She doesn't go around toting a gun.
Your hand twitches, a single bullet hidden from sight. Remember the way it slides into the barrel, the muzzle of the loaded weapon pointed at your heart.
Do tell. Exit from what?
The lieutenant stops writing for a moment.
No, she's a fighter.
Not a quitter, like you sometimes get, son.
Not that I know of, though she was into nice music. She once showed me a few mixtape millions she'd made. Although I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical and technical stuff.
She may simply have kept the equipment elsewhere.
I don't know. Further up the coast, she tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door...
It's a peninsula. She might be trapped.
You'll never find her, you know. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You...
I wouldn't worry about that, man. We are persistent.
Yes, it's going to be too much work for you to find her. Better for you to stay here, get a nice...
The failed electric mural. You feel like you should go look at it again. Step closer this time.
One thing, officer. If you do find her, she's a good girl. Whatever she...
There's nothing else to do with it.
That's one brutal motor carriage.
If I were a real skull now, I'd jack it, paint it in palm tree livery, then bottom light it, neon style.
A snazzy, shit-ripped skullmobile like this would make a fine trophy. We could, like, hang fucking shrunken heads from the side mirrors. Cops' heads.
Yeah, tribal shit. A cop carriage like this would have proper skull.
While I appreciate the interest you take in my brutal motor carriage, I have to stop you right there. The RCM takes threats directed at its property seriously.
It's just theoretical work, Copper. No basis in reality. Man, if we were certified skulls right now...
I can tell you who we're not, cop. We're not snitches.
Which is not to say that the skulls are bitches and... On the contrary.
The part of this presentation you want to take home with you, cop man, is we're not part of the skulls. Yet. You don't know? What kind of cop are you?
The question was rhetorical. The Skulls are the most vicious gang of the Besmertne.
The nastiest bunch of psychos ever. Jacking...
Possessing an infinite amount of fuck-all swagger, infamous for their non-verbal modus operandi.
They usually occupy the burnt-out quarter in Jamrock, or you can find them loitering around the...
I can't wait to become a skull. Bottom light's a wretched aggressive.
Murder?
Yeah, sure. We'll gladly tell you everything we...
Also, he was hanged. He was hanged from a tree.
Yeah, I mean, duh.
These punks don't know anything.
Hey, stop right there. How does one know anything?
Sure. Understandable. Nope. But Sin...
Don't tell him that. Skulls don't tattle, man.
You already said she's a skull. The last I saw her, she was hanging around the old apartment building.
Just don't tell her you heard it from Piss and Fuck, alright? I think she wanted those gloves for herself. Be cool, man.
Alright, we have a lead on the gloves.
The Union does their share of policing in Martinez, at least where gangs are concerned. That's why there is...
Well, there's Cindy.
Yeah, the girl piss-blathered out when you asked about the armor. She's a true artist of the future.
By the way, if you see Cindy, give her our regards. Mm-hmm. What about them? Well, first off, it's a statement and not necessarily something that characterizes me as a person, even though the statement has character. And I do like piss. The word piss epitomizes the struggle taking place in the world. Things being defined as they seem, not as they are. And, I guess, it's also about communal spirit. Also, you've got to admit, it catches the eye. And since the Grand Piper is slowly but steadily moving towards basing the economy on it, attention, it is imperative that the medium itself convey the message. What I mean by this is, we are all pissed, and that the world is inherently meaningless.
Like I said before, many men keep searching for the one, for so-called true love, which is actually to catch a fish you'll need to hurl the lure many times. And even then, it isn't certain that you'll get anything. If you blow up the lake, though, you get more fish in a shorter time. Because when one fucks everything, he fucks nothing.
Is it a coincidence that here we have 2 badass jackets and 2 badass cops?
Yes? Leather jackets adorned with immature writing? The ideology they convey helps the boys justify poor choices in life and fashion. I'm not a fan. What are you implying? I'm not sure I understand you, detective. Neither. Fine, if only to end this discussion. Theoretically, if I were a juvenile delinquent, if I were to already be down that path, I think peace is the stronger of the two statements. Seems about right, especially considering your heroic exit attempts.
That's an origin story for a...
So are we done here? Or... you don't need us around for your secret whisper party, do you?
No, no, no. Don't ask anything. Be subtle and scary. The boys dream about being skulls. Use that. Suggest they're massive skulls. Come on.
What? No! Skulls don't have kings. I think. And we're not even in.
Yeah, man, keep your voice down. Skulls don't take it lightly when folks pretend to be them. We're not even prospects yet.
Wow, you boys are ambitious. Only prospects and already planning a coup in the skulls. You're destined to go far.
He gets it. Passive-aggressive flattery.
Shut the fuck up! Are you trying to get us killed?
Now bring it to the jackets and, yes, start shouting.
Please be quiet. What? What do you want? The jackets?
Fuck you, man. Take them then. Oh, man. Okay. I get it.
Fuck.
I'm absolutely okay with not having either one, thank you. This case doesn't require us to go undercover or raise hell. In fact, I don't think the jackets will be useful at all. I just wanted them to not...
Cold-hearted cop.
The need will not arise.
The jackets are meant to complete each other. If a man was standing alone on a street corner with "piss" written on his back, it'd just be an individual that has taken a liking to urine. And "fuck the world" all on its own is, frankly, generic.
I don't know, Eric. It's cold out.
Yeah, let's get out of here. The cops fucked us.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheat. A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat, and the pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, heavier than you'd think. Cold and heavy. Useful for opening all sorts of... The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Right.
10-4, come in. Fireworker, over. Ten-4, sir, roger that, and very glad to hear it. I will make relevant changes to the report. Roger that, 10-10, over and out.
This is Precinct 57. How may I... I'm afraid they're closed. It says here that...
We should try again.
Anything else, Detective? 57's over and out.
In the cabin, you see a
Vigilance officer? What can this old carabinier do for you? What is this? Are you mocking us? This isn't for pétanque.
Now, no need to get angry again, René. I'm sure the officer tried his best. It's not like there's a bull kiosk here in Martinez.
That's how it is, huh? Fine. I guess you did attempt to right your hooliganism.
He mumbles something to himself. It seems to be a...
There's nothing for you to understand here. It is not. Absolutely not. She died of pneumonia in her bed at the age of... Reverchal fair of 91 in the Faubourg. This was the happiest day of my life. I was 22 when I returned from King Guillaume's... I won her back. But what...
You were like a dark cloud sucking the joy out of every living thing around you. And you hurt her. Those days and memories are gone.
The old soldier says nothing, but when his glance quickly runs over Gaston's face, there's... just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Yeah.
Why must we stop to look at this wall every time
There, on that balcony. Do you see it? It's an artist. The disheveled hair, cheap clothes, slumping posture that suggests an unearned sense of superiority. It's all there, if you know how to read people. Commanders of the streets, like me, have... Artistos are known to repel wealth. It bounces off their skin like rubber. The moment a reasonable... What you need to do is lure them in with a strong one-liner. Get them on your side before you've even finished a sentence. Show us what you've got. Pretend you're facing the girl. Mamma mia, if this isn't the top seller in La Delta. No one expected you to nail this on the first try. Okay then. A sturdy metal door. A sturdy metal door guards the south.
Madame,
There is no reply. The door rattles.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not... The police? No. I already... Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east. The spread pattern of these more old bullet holes. Half you peer into the faded marks in your chest feels tight looking at them. It's closing.
You okay there? You were looking pale there for a second. What are you looking at? Remnants from the revolution. These are over half a century old. Perhaps a crime of a sort ages ago, but no, these do not much.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs.
Okay, here. Okay, here. Okay, here. Okay, here. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a sound. Was that? Could it be the Col de Mama d'Aqua? No, it's probably just your imagination ringing. There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high. Honestly, your ear isn't hearing a whole lot. The distant hum of the industrial harbor, the traffic, but...
No, I don't hear the Col de Mama d'Aqua, and neither do you.
Of course he doesn't. He's deaf. There it is again. You're about to rediscover a... Yeah, but how are you going to catch it? It must be very close. Keep still. It might perch... What are you doing? You're a police officer, not a pansy ornithologist. The only birds you should be looking for are healthy women of childbearing age. Oh no. The sound. No. Too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets. Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure. You think you have a pretty hot suspect right now, don't you? That ruby of yours? Notice how it came together without casting too much suspicion on Clasia. It was nice and ruby-centric in the end. Anything strike you a bit off about this mishmash? Notice how this hasn't come up at all. Even Hardy and his boys didn't mention it. Neither did you. No, they didn't. True. Strange how you conducted the whole advanced ballistics analysis and then hand-waved it. Good point. It is rather rare these days, but do continue. Absolutely. It could have come from anywhere, but you're suddenly so certain it came from the roof behind the window. That's right. Finish thought. Just finish it and conveniently go on. She's watching you leave right now, you know that. Free as a bird on that roof, lighting up a cigarette and thinking, am I glad Ruby's in this shit and not me? Don't listen to this guy. The theory was solid. He's just jealous.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't.
The door is closed. You hear someone inside, walking from room to room. You see a young man on a balcony, nursing a cigarette.
Not looking for any trouble, officer. I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie, if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat. He keeps...
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette...
By God, this young man has the body of a decathlete. His lithe form was practically made for vaulting over the high bar.
Occasionally. Why? No. I just like to look good.
He gives you a honeyed smile before shaking off the cigarette.
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Martin Martinez? Good local name. Let's go with that.
I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite a...
What were you doing?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you? No, not you two. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more muscular?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing?
It was my Sunday friend.
A Sunday friend? He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Someone hides behind a curtain. Those windows have eyes, and those eyes are watching.
Help you? No, sorry, gendarme. I have to run. Help you? Help you? Help you? Help you? Help you? No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and begging. Show him your emotional side. Throw your
trash? Listen, I really have to go. Good luck with the investigation.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself. He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular. There has to be a way of getting inside the building. Let's go check out the door near the pier again.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet, and there's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity it doesn't have the apartment number on it. This building, we'll just have to go in and see.
A shabby door hangs oddly on its hinges, secured to the doorframe with a safety chain. An unpaid energy bill is attached, threatening to cut off the electricity. It's addressed to Mr. Uno de Reuter. A shabby door hangs oddly on its hinges. Snip. The cutter goes through them like deadly. Don't let the quiet fool you.
I know there's no stopping you, but let's at least make this quick.
Master Investigator, you just can't keep yourself away from locked and hidden places, can you? Attaboy, the world's secrets were made for you. A phone book lies open on the table, covering a stack of utility bills. Right next to it, in plain sight, sits a small bottle of amphetamine, conveniently equipped with a straw. You pocket the bottle as if it were the most blast it before you face the beast. De Reuter. You're going to need the encouragement. bundle of clothes heaped on the bed. A stained parka. In the dark, it looks like a nest. Something underneath there. It doesn't give a shit that you're a cop. Stop your hand now, or you're gonna die. Your hand touches a greasy duvet covered in cigarette burns and ketchup stains. You hear it. It's deep in suffering. So you see a 60-year-old, fat, red-headed man passed out from large amounts. You don't have to take him down. He's already down.
I'm afraid it is. Look, it moves.
And look, the other foot is camouflaged by a striped sock bearing the name Max. A groan rises from the man's throat, dry like a death rattle. He's trying to say. The man groans once again, but his tongue keeps failing him. It's impossible to make out the syllables. A hand emerges from the blankets, and then it dawns upon you. Pigs. He's trying to call you pigs. His hand falls back on the bed, limp and defeated.
At least he got to say his piece. Well, Judge...
The lieutenant's right. The man's unwatched. There's still plenty to be scared of here. Just not what you thought.
I think he's still quite bad. I mean, what he has come to. This man won't be feeding his family anytime soon. Not that he was, but... at least he won't.
A pair of half-open bug eyes is staring back at you from the dark. His half-open eyes give him the look of a dead man. But he is in there, and not enjoying himself.
Can't you tell? It happens to exceptionally committed substance abusers. They fall asleep with their eyelids still open. Not a pretty sight. Look, he's trying to communicate.
Silence. Only heat emanates from the sleeping body.
What is there to do? We could turn him on his side so he doesn't choke on his own vomit, but he's already on his side. We could take him to Remedy or Saint-Baptiste, but he doesn't have money for medical. They don't do charity for people who are trying to kill themselves. Besides, he'll be dead in a few.
The pile of blankets grunts miserably. The aging alcoholic is still there, breathing. The air in the room is stale. This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the... No reply. No reply. No reply. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it.
You seem committed to it, so go on.
The shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little...
After you, detective.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Marzov.
The White Star, the photos on the wall, I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Marzov.
He was definitely controversial. The tenant here seems to... There aren't many communists around. Not after the revolution. Some youths...
The note is written with a blue pencil.
Does it say anything interesting?
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. That's a plausible hypothesis. It belongs inside a radio...
It's like the production schedule.
Really? You don't have a single guess? Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter. I don't know. I assume it's someone...
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box? You hear someone walk. The walking stops abruptly, but no one. Sounded like a woman. A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get in.
Later then, entering this door seems a physical challenge.
only a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronchitis. Go ahead, then.
She's the cleaning lady. She knows the floor plan and the...
I'm no one. Just an old woman, if you can call it living. I have a little room upstairs right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company. And that's all. Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry. Pea-brain. Someone played a trick on you. Martinet.
Oops. You really didn't get the joke there.
I thought it was obvious. Anyway, officer, we don't have the witness's name.
Yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking.
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio.
What's he in trouble for? Talk? He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those...
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony.
Ask away, policeman. People come and go. I don't care. No one lives there. It's been empty. Impossible. I would know if someone had moved in there. Maybe it's those countercultural people again. Breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're great. Young people. They're worse than... Oh, that one is a scientist. A future... I think he studies astrology. Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall. That's what I said.
The lieutenant shakes his head, as though to say, let it go.
I don't want to talk about Deweeters. Addicts. All of them. And they don't like me cleaning behind their door. Think I'm listening in on their fight.
So she doesn't. Not after that one time.
We saw unpaid utility bills. Aren't they going to...
No one likes them in this building. It's only because of the kids they haven't... I don't like talking about those people. Oh, no.
You hear someone walking around. Scare them. Suspected of some big crime.
That was smart.
Satisfied? My name is Marielle Charpentier, and I'm an agent with Martinez Realty Associates. I am not breaking in, as I have every right to be here.
Boy, there are a lot of different keys there.
Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too?
It feels flimsy in hand, with the words Revachol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal...
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour. I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place. It was some kind of a moribund old man who used to be a business owner.
A sudden serious look crosses her
But that was months ago. Anyway, oh, that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. 3. And again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes like this can even happen. But Ron, when he came to close the door, didn't close the neighboring door. And there's a hole in the wall. A hole in the wall. Can you believe it? And then the tenant ran off with his stuff. He's gone. The money's gone.
The sum must have been puny.
Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have no idea how we're going to find the time or resources to fix it. Both apartments are now unrentable. Both. Of course.
Yes?
Give me a moment. I see. I hope some good people are finally going to move in. This place needs them. Oh, I do like wizards, and people like that in general. They have a lot to tell us about our...
She means clairvoyance. Ruination has come. The broken arches betray the once grand history of this building. A great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy, the tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling. The wind blows through your hair. The sea breeze cuts around you, high on the balcony as you stare over the edge at the sea. The waves of the Martinez Inlet roll over those arches acted as support. Only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12 once did. From the eyes of a seagull, a nest of brown hair not worth the 50-foot dive. From a pedestrian on the dock, a rugged man staring out to sea, mere feet from fatality. From a guest on the balcony of the Whirling in Rags, a silhouette imposing enough to be seen at a distance. A fleet, the combined armies of Occident and Grad. They massed airships for many are still there to this day. If you squint, you can...
The coalition. But that was a long time ago. I think we should move on. It's chilly up here.
He fears the discussion might lead to disagreements, as it often does.
The streets will flow red once more, a great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red within it.
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
This is the Cindy Mr. Piss and Fuck said had the armored gloves. Played cool now.
Sod off, pig man. Art is above the law.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
What's that? The piggy's looking to get into the art market with a snappy business pitch. Watch out, or you'll be auctioned off and face the chop.
The lieutenant straightens his back. Wait, relax. It's all part of her image. She stares at you, fearlessly, waiting for a response.
Whoa! Comment with that shit cop. I don't have any art you can... The whole point of graffitio being on the street is so everyone can see it.
There has to be a way to convince her.
I don't have a price. If I wanted to whore myself out, I'd go to Porto Rosa. Or better yet, I'd take you with me and pimp you out to some friends of mine. They'd be delighted to get their hands on a squealing pink thing like you. Cut off your ears. Make some pig soup out of them. Now sod off. You've got nothing to watch.
Perfect. She isn't interested. All the more reason to move on from this little side task.
Your partner here gets it. Anything else I can not do for you, gentlemen?
She's locked up tight. What does she want? Maybe it's as simple as asking her.
Squeal. Then maybe we can talk business.
The lieutenant remains perfectly...
Not him, you. I want you to squeal for me, pork chop. Aw, come on. I was just starting to have some fun. Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Have you ever tried your hand at graffiti-o? When faced with a blank wall, we rarely see pigs round it, yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval. I ain't no snitch, pigstein.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, cat.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
Red dyed heavy fuel oil, intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock. Something to think about next time you're driving around in your pretty little piggy carriage. I don't believe it. I've never known those boys to have manners. There'll never be skulls, but their hearts are in the right place. Fat chance, but you can still do your part to revitalize the neighborhood.
She throws you a conspiratorial glance.
Have you noticed the quiet? Every so often, you might hear a gunshot pierce the air somewhere in Jamrock. But in Martinez, this place is a sepulchre. We'll paint it red. We bring the raucous. You bring the sirens. What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells? All right, Piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell.
Could that girl have been little Lily? It's not a bad place to start.
Could have been her. Small kid with giant white armored hands. If you've seen one, watch your back, ungulate.
Why does art inspire you so much? Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression. In short, art is the highest form of human communication. Have you looked in the mirror lately? To be honest, you have the exact features of the modern artist, with that wild hair and those clothes. Perhaps you should try to write poetry someday. Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living. Quit being so indecisive. What are you going for here? Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street. Go ahead and provide savage criticism. That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of...
I'll keep my armistice handy, detective.
He doesn't actually reach for his gun. The Star and Antlers was developed in the 6th. Even today, half a century after, the Star and Antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear to symbolize the toppling. Also, some social democrats were already using it. The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about because white is the color of peace. You see noble aims, but also mountains upon mountains of corpses. They should have taken a more measured. This door is made of metal and appears to be number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening. We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good? The smoker on the balcony. This is why we're here, right? He might know some. Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28. Good, let's go.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big... Remember, tomorrow. He's probably gone for today.
Trying to sneak up on me.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Yeah, why?
Why must we stop to look at...
Inside, we see a set of steering levers, A radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Hold on, officer. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the line, and I will...
Yes, this is Central Jamrock Public Library here. How can I help you, officer? Billy Majon, you said. Give me a moment, I'll have to check our database. Yes, hello, are you still there? I found Billy Majon's home address, is that alright? No phone number, unfortunately. Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33B, apartment number 20. It's in Martinez, I believe. Capeside Apartments, it says. That's all.
That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago, but I wasn't at work that day. Marie? Marie? Do you remember a reader named Billy Majon? They returned a Tybalt book the other day.
Maurice, what? A woman yells. Then, yes, okay, if it was the police, she starts explaining something.
Yes, it was my colleague Marie. She said that it was Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release, Lowe's Radio City 87, but we don't have it yet. Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me. Sometimes her husband returns some books for her. Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight. Marie! She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure he'd had a drink or two. 1 second. Sorry, Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that. Happy we could help. Goodbye, officer.
Anything else you need from me? '57th, over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering wheels.
Hello, mister. Yes. They don't want to play with me. They look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart. They look identical. Luby. My mom tells me I'm a big girl, but she doesn't know that I can't say Earl. Or sometimes.
Kids.
Oh, I had gloves.
Where did you get...
Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek in an empty house where no one lives. I hid them. The twins were gonna take them. They're stupid.
We're going to need those gloves. It's...
Oh. They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good. Bye!
Bringing of the law. Lawjaw. Okay, so we now know why you have Lawjaw. Why you say the law in a weird manner. And why your jaw does that thing. You had polio as a child. You hadn't gotten vaccinated. It must have been right after the revolution. Not a lot of vaccine going around then. So you got infantile paralysis due to polio, and this jaw thing is a complication from that. Admittedly, it's not very funny, but you overcame it. This little infant survived and became a sharp-shooting super cop. So, fuck you, polio. Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something.
The little castle? The reigning lord must have come upon some really tough times to let it sleep in such decrepitude.
The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Congratulations. That's the gauntlets down then. We're doing...
You're alive and well. Do keep... Yes, yes. How was it? I knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us. But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she...
She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
Oh, how horrid! I knew something wasn't right about that place. Tell me, did you find a way to break the curse? Guillaume Lemillion? The singer who made that awful face? Well, I do see the resemblance. All that matters is that the energies are retreating. I can already feel the curse lifting. It will be a long time. Thank you, officer. Truly, you've brought a better psycho-emanation to this humble bookstore, and that's no small achievement.
She so badly wants this to be over.
All right then. Also...
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Yeah, why? It's a wall.
Why must we stop to look at this wall every time we pass by?
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is operable. Heavy wooden doors, more than the lock turns easily.
Let's go.
A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark innards of in the heart of. In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands. This is her innocence. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel. Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among the snowdrifts, diffuse light falling on your hands from beyond the glass. The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen. She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. As that terrible word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees. into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez. Or it's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago. There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted.
Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of DeLorean?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are DeLorean in origin. It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean system does not demand faith, only accordance.
Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is Her Innocence Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge, the highest category of historic individual. And innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one. No, we are alone. 300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by many things, you know she was a woman of the court. The white, terribly, women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge, and she made the most of her position in the anti-DeLorean court. A court visited by the most prominent, she was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared at. It was on her advice that Irene Le Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic end. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion, wow indeed, when her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her. She was so. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sun. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the region, as did we all. In a city called Advest, she was dressed in a white and pearl dress. Oh yes, she looked like midwinter snow was beating the. One of the men in this secret service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come, something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it is. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, this inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is terrifying, is a term too although she's often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal. For the campaigns she waged, the Mesk state tried to detach itself from innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secular. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores. This subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Lieutenant Yefrater, you've stood there for over 5 minutes. What are you thinking of, if I may ask? Okay. This church, the coast in general, we shouldn't linger here. This isn't a good place to get lost in. We should go.
A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a light motif. Unknown. A motor carriage, a gunshot, someone falling into it, or maybe just hooligans looking for something to break. The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman, small figures of wise men, common men. Below both women, in luminous black, and then along the left side, après le monde, la gré.
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, this exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No, it was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto: justice, union, prudence, and force. So do I.
The mother of humanism. A machine stands in the corner.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already... We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case. It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station.
The one you saw earlier was the Ream Civic. This is the Ream Prefect. You see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. The lieutenant says nothing. The speaker comes to life. Statics.
Good morning, Fortress Accident on Saint-Brune. This is the...
It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio computer in the doomed commercial area.
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Is this the personal log? Please end the call and do that. I have 2 machines registered to this company.
Saint-Brune.
Anything else? Goodbye.
The machine's keyboard is behind the hatch. Sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silvered another filament memory. Nothing happens. The speaker comes.
Good morning, good. Please repeat.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
No. Still no. I am contractually...
I'm afraid we are not doing...
No. Can you receive Fortress Accident? Is there anything else I can do for you today? Good.
Let's look around.
Receive Fortress Accident. Goodbye.
The machine's keyboard. Hey, her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember? You have the Headless Falcon Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back. So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and... The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and... Why? That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else? I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things. The mother of humanism towers above you. The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely, and then it's gone. You can hardly hear your own breathing. You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more. Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl, it's unnerving. The lieutenant points to his ears and shakes.
Can you hear anything? I wonder why the church was built with such...
Maybe the church was designed this way to prevent boisterous activity, singing and dancing, on its premises.
Please, detective, not this again.
The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead. It's like there's something moving up there. A shadow has emerged from the tower and it's making its way toward you through all the other shadows. Yes, the darkness makes it's climbing. Climbing down. Oh, it's not a shadow anymore. Becoming more substantial as it...
Officer, is there something up there?
Oh no. You've lost sight of it. You see something hanging from the rafters. Maybe it's possible to talk to it. The shadow is a man made of the same stuff as the carpentry of the building. He is studying you intently. The crab man. The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable...
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. You come to the right place. Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user.
Hey, and what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
Oh yeah, sure. You don't know anything about alcohol use. You got it all under control, Way. I could smell the control all the way over here. I was like you once.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to...
If the lieutenant agrees, then maybe, just maybe. Look at these crazies. What is this? A fucking intervention?
You know what this is? It's truth, Holmes.
Wait, what does that even mean?
This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here. Never known myself to be a crab, but if that's the name you got for me, I won't stop you from using it. I always thought of myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and I was in a gangway, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone. Nah, ese, it's not like that. Best thing that could happen.
Do you remember your name?
Tiago's my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. I named your place amongst your fellas, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore. That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that matters. This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there. I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days, I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly. I think they were. A long time ago. I had to shed them like skins.
They'd only stop him from climbing. They look pretty dapper, actually.
I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. No, no, no. She is a cavity in the dark, beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory. I ain't from no Marietti, if that's what you're thinking.
He lost his cool there for a moment. Seems you hit some nerve.
Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries. I've been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, eh? It didn't belong to me. It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service. I heard that before, Way, and I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night? She took you for a good spin, huh? Don't worry, bro. The mother will eat all of you and never spit you out. I know it will take time.
The sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
Police raid a while back.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The ones in the tent outside, right? I see them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab. Probably scared of me. Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Might even be nice to have some company. Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes. No, I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young.
Wait, what if it's Ruby?
Did it ever seem to you like she was hiding here from something?
You mean like a fugitive? No, man. Quite the opposite. I don't think she cared much about authority.
I see. And where is she now?
I told you, Holmes. I don't know. You just have to wait until she...
Or search through her radio computer.
Too many times, Ese. You need it for something. Don't sweat it, vato. The password is... What you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nilita. I think we're done here, Ese.
That was, however, I'm still not sure.
Tremble. The time is now. Taola. Time for the show. For Taola. The hallowed time of fear and disintegration. Ulogu Theodos. Xeno Zausin. Ipoli Monday morning. The moment you arrived in this reality, are the first crack in the sheer face of God. From you yes, you spoke the words of the Palindropos and the houses of Pericarnassus. Items, people, even words will tumble. All will lose its meaning in the coming year. So you should be. The world, perhaps. Just a thought. This has something to do with the hangover. The face of the woman fractures. There will be hurt. The machine's keyboard is the speaker.
Good morning. Good. Please, good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Goodbye.
The machine's keyboard. The printer prints out a long text document with date. The first entry made on the 4th of February, 51. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up. So I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite... Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local...
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't see. Even one of the spookers themselves says it's unnerving. What was that about narcotics? This could prove to be interesting.
I doubt that we can find any. Nothing spooky about this place either.
7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking Escasiris.
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
For setting up a radio computer. 8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna. Had some problems setting it up. Called Simor for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how.
I think these people worked in the radio computer games business. Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough of something about the backup data getting destroyed.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
The strike. We are nearing the date of... Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person...
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow.
Is she talking about?
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the Swallow is real and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately...
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, The song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want that disco man. Must be a cell.
The girl on the ice?
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some...
I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle.
No. It was a great idea. March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping-pong energy drinks. Water. Your reading is interrupted by the sound. The string makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
Yes, you are breaking in, but not into her radio computer.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
There are no coalition military data links. And even if there was, you couldn't access them over a civilian network. That's nonsense. You're just a police officer. Now please give me some room.
We should talk to her.
What is it? No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper. Yes. Or no, not anymore. That project is dead. I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
That still doesn't answer what she's doing in an abandoned church.
No. Yes. And? I don't care. I don't care about crap men.
Wow, she really doesn't. Not afraid, this one.
What? No.
She has not seen her, sire. 'Tis true.
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything. I use the AR-1 as my RAIN prefix processing unit. Mm-hmm. Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you? Then you'll certainly know that all radio computers perform operations on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna. On the front, the unified front of radio waves. Licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
Like love.
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable, but it's not the cheapest one on the market. So I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. I'm working.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core.
Could you just shh for a moment?
It's not just rudeness. It really is hard to concentrate on whatever she needs to do. And you're not helping.
They are connected to my RAIN prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Great. You really like those questions, don't you? I'm conducting scientific research here. I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
She's looking for a disruption in the radio wave. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible. What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does...
That's a little above your pay grade at the moment.
I don't know. Are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. You measure it by its surroundings, by that which does exist, which is what I... But honestly, it's not progressing there. Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that. Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out.
There's this place at the back of the church. A place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this. I know. No, I don't. Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact... And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just... Great. Thanks. What? I
bet she hasn't even heard it.
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music. This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here. Take a guess, why don't you? I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you?
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
Hello again.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
He's a quiet man, mostly communicates through music, and by being a master of ceremonies. You know, a host, a declaimer of slogans. He's a performer, gets the... Well, he's just kind of here. I don't really know how to communicate with him. Yeah, sometimes. When I, stumble and find my way into his centre, you have to hear a lot of hardcore...
The man smiles, mysterious. I get it. He's a puzzle.
Goodbye, officer.
We're close. True, hard, full, car. Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent. All car! All right!
He furrows his brow.
Hardcore! Ah!
The question is, what is the question? But there was a question. We're close.
True, hard, full, car, hardcore! Hardcore, internally coherent. Good morning, yeah! 1, 2, 3, Yakokata, the place to be! Yakokata is a hardcore place. We're close. True, hard, full, hardcore. Hardcoreism, internally coherent. Good morning. It's the message, so listen and you will see. No. We're close. True, hard, full, hardcore. Yeah! Lucky Earthski, Materialski. We're close. True, hard, full, hardcore. Yeah! Spinning out lyrics since the day I was born. And the amount of lyrics I got is against the law. We're close. True, hardcore is a mega. Here comes the night. We're close. True, hardcore, internally coherent. Good morning, yeah. 1, 2, 3. It's the message. We're close. True, hardcore, internally coherent. All gotta get the people going. Yeah, request. I want everybody as close to the stage as possible. We're close. True, hard, internally coherent. All gotta get the people. I'm the party boy. It's my job. 2 on a track. Watch your back. Watch out for the heart attack. We're close. True, hard, internally all car. Gotta get the people going. I'm the party boy. It's hardcore party 25/7 beyond the winter's orbit style. We're close. True, hardcore, internal, all car.
He furrows his brow as
hardcore. Is it though? One mind, one spirit. There's no other world. There's no other life. We're close. True, hardcore is internal, all.
he furrows his
Hardcore! Is it though? But is it? I mean, really? No, but seriously, I'm a bit worried it isn't.
Don't be alarmed. Everything is okay. He isn't actually worried. Everything is still super hardcore. What he probably means is, it could be even more so.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm still in love with the hardcore. Sometimes I just feel like anodic music is in its infancy, you know? For example, take this Arno van Eyck jam I've been pumping for the last months, and will continue pumping for the rest. Isn't something holding it back from being hyper? It's like it's only...
I think it's super hardcore, but you're right. It's not hyper hardcore.
If anything, it sounds a bit proto, like it's not fully formed yet. You might be a moribund alcoholic and a failed cop.
Wow! Culture cop! I think you might be right. But how could it become hardcore then? I know it in my heart, but cannot think it in my head. If this is not hardcore, how could anything be? What? Guys, there's something happening in his head. Oh yeah! He's doing it! I know! So does mine!
But there's something else that hasn't failed you.
No! This is the answer! Uh-huh. Oh. Uh-huh. Oh. Yeah! No nation, but transnation! No war, but class war!
Don't be a lunatic. Of course he isn't. Jermaine here just yells random things. Or
yeah! Revershaw!
Unless you were thinking Revershaw imperative right now. Anyway, I've had a similar thing happen with eggs yelling. I know what you mean. That's fucked up, man. Lying like that. And a cop, too. He's not a communist. It's just something he likes to yell. He picked it up from a tape.
Yeah! With the rebel yell! Oh, sure! I can do that! If you want that, I can avoid taking a stand.
Please don't turn him into a moralist. I don't even know what to say to that.
Aye! It's time to compromise! I'm swiftly moving toward a solution which pleases nobody.
You feel Jermaine Egghead's smile is too enthusiastic. But it'll have to do for now.
Dark hardcore!
Basically, yes it is.
Lungs are for love! Love! In a woman's lungs. Lonely as I am, I'm not afraid. This strange, damaged feeling grows on and on. 'Cause I've never loved someone like you before.
A dopamine surge accompanies the words. It feels like electricity flowing down your scalp, dissipated into your neck. Feels good, like a spark of life in that moribund sponge you call.
All right!
The large-headed you.
Incremental progress! Yeah!
You know it in your lungs where the pressure should vibrate, in your heart that's alone, and in your solar plexus where the hits should land. So does every chordate animal.
What? Wow, okay. We should start with the melody. But where would we get that stuff from? I'm sorry, I don't know anything about Nordic music. I'm just the party boy. I get the people going and say it's hardcore.
The young man falls silent with appreciation.
Basically, what you need to find here is a tape with some banging music on it. So that... Yeah, maybe that street talker across the pawn shop has got some tapes. Anyway, that's all we...
Copman! Tape! Yeah! Spins the tape until the space is... Aight! No! No, no! This is gonna make people scared! Keep it positive, normal, stay...
Hello, hello. Let the Coldima Madakwa. Sorry, I would never have guessed that you were that interested in ultrasonic sounds. Or birds, for that matter. What an interesting development. Once knew a group of young musicians who decided they didn't want to play music anymore. This was before, you know, lost touch with them after all of that. Cool or not, one of them was obsessed with recording the Coldima Madakwa. And we thought we did. We got together all these recordings of unusual sound patterns. Compared them. That really wasn't the point. After the Symphonia, we moved. Unfortunately, I don't have any recordings from my old life. None at all. But I do have a tape with some ultrasonic sounds that might...
Do we really have time for this?
This recording comes from down the coast. Wasn't looking to record anything. Keep in mind, I have to slow this one down enough to make sounds well over 200 kilohertz audible to the human ear.
As the hum grows louder, modulating but always unnaturally uncomfortably low, like it's coming not from... He nods to you, reassuringly. Just...
Gulls and skewers. But...
Shh. That's it. The signal in the noise. A low range of sounds is easier to handle with a focal point, but still troubling. You are mesmerized by the sounds, but also feel...
You know, now that I've listened to it on these new speakers, it's not the Coldima Madakwa. Wrong patterns, wrong photons. Probably some insect trying to sing higher than its predators can hear. Still, fascinating, aren't they? The Coldima Madakwa. Sorry, I would never have guessed that you were that interested in ultrasonic sounds. Or birds, for that matter. That's fair. This was before. You know, I'm not sure.
Do we really have time for this?
All right.
All the old boom. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the big men on big...
Franco-Nigerian knights.
They're not all blue.
Which ones? Ah, those.
This set of soldiers...
You're probably talking about... I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next... Maybe.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gislain. Bronze-colored ribbons of magnetic tape are caught in its branches, fluttering in the breeze. Patting the tree reveals a small sticker which has almost been worn to oblivion. You tree hugging, the bronze ribbon twists around and within the branches in an intricately natural pattern. But there's something. There's a twisted logic in this mess. You see the ends of the ribbon, the way it flows, how it twists and turns. It's all starting to make sense. It'll be easier to remove now. With slow and deliberate motions, pulling, bending, and unraveling, you manage to extricate the magnetic tape from the branches. It curls up into a mess inside your pocket. If only you could find a way to...
What's the tape for? How? It's broken and unspooled. Do you think your new buddy knows how to fix it? You could also get it fixed at the pawn shop across the street. We shouldn't waste our time.
Good idea. He might have the tool.
Hello, hello. You mean Reese Pooley? Yeah, I do, but I'm not some Mr. Fix-It. I'm a pawnbroker. If you want to pawn the tape, sure. Although it looks pretty worthless. Huh? What do you mean? Yes, what about it? Is it any good? The music, I mean. Man, you're really invested in this. Okay, I'll help you out. It's going to take...
You take some time to look around the store. The play of visuals all around the pawn shop is mesmerizing. Suddenly, Roy turns back to you with a reel of tape in his hand and coughs.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll do what I can for...
The large-headed youth.
Incremental program! Yeah! Remix time! Tape goes here, into deck B.
A hand on his ear. He listens.
Wow! Did you get this from Arno himself? Listen, I'm just going to show it to you. sexual assault. It would be
intriguing. The way I see it, Van Eyck based his remix on some famous original piece, like a folk song, something local. Seems.
I think it's just happenstance, chaos in action, contingency.
Noid's right. Egghead's technical talent is the key.
Be how it may, if it fits, it fits. Bring up the volume.
What about the bass? Do you have any ideas for that?
Yeah, I remember.
You can't just leave it without a bass track.
Yo, the warrior!
Don't be too hard on yourself if you don't think.
But it could be hyper hardcore!
Hi again. So, how are things going? Goodbye, officer. Hi again. So, how are things going?
A number of things don't add up. How about gather around, kids? The young speed freak puts down a busted, the one with the large head. See, their would-be leader is less amused.
But you still are.
Silence.
What happened? I've been trying to say we need the next step in dance music to happen fast.
Shut it.
What? I have! I've said that!
The young speed freak is silent.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
What do you know about spinning tape? Nothing. I'm sorry, but there is no lab equipment. And what do you mean, friend? It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
He said it was for his nose. What more do you want? And of all cellular-based life, what's your point, Lawbringer?
No shit. Hey man, who knows what she's on about? I get it. She doesn't want us in the church. She's got something against us.
Who doesn't like to dance? She doesn't like to dance.
That's... Come on, that's... It's not! No! It's not true, is what I meant. What do you mean, do?
Or else...
He thinks for a moment, then opens his...
Things are just way too hard for an entrepreneur in this city. It's not like we're not going to turn the church into the wickedest...
Because we are!
We just got to turn it into a speed lamp.
You know, to get our foot in the door.
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in. No, man. They're spooky, all right.
But the sign was way off, too.
Whatever you think is right, sir. But please, we were only...
This is it. Judgment time.
Noid, give him the...
The young man doesn't move.
No, fuck. Yes, fucking...
Without a word, the other speed freak pulls a red wallet out of the tool.
Yeah!
I knew it. It's impossible now.
No, Andre, it's harder now. This Hobocop has come to show us how much the fish is, and the fish is always so much more. There needs to be a club for Nordic music in there. We need a win, Andre. I promise this will be a win. We won't...
Okay, we'll try to do it without the drugs. We'll do a straight club up in there, spinning the maddest reels, and nothing but...
From here on, it'll be straight all the way.
And? What happened? Oh, man! Who is he? What did you think? Really? Huh. Interesting. What's he doing in the church?
No matter. Is he gonna be a problem?
Yeah. No.
These guys will never catch him. You will never catch him. There's nothing to do.
I don't know, man. Doesn't it feel like a major hindrance to you? A spooky guy climbing around when all the guests are trying to have nice, friendly hyper time?
I guess it's not a meh.
Everyone is welcome to dance till the morning light.
Maybe. I guess we'll figure something out. Okay, but what about the other spooker? The one in Grandma's clothes? Did you see her? A programmer? That's odd. What was she like?
What a pity. That's my favourite thing.
A shame. What can we do now? Do you see a way out of this jam?
Unity! Dance!
And you can't just evict her?
Look at you.
No, Noid. He's right. Maybe if that's okay with her, we only want to get in the church.
The line's in the dark.
At least Crabman seems like an advanced...
Yeah, he can do his climbing thing in the tower. And the programmer, does she like Nordic dance music? Wonderful! If coexisting fails, you can always muscle her out, right? If it's all okay with you, what do you think? Excellent! Good luck, my friend. Goodbye, officer.
Hello again. I did, and I'm sorry for what...
This is why I didn't go into the tent. Typical.
You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you.
Indeed, she merely tried to omit the truth instead.
I know. I should... May I ask? What did you tell them? Thank you. I'll get them under wraps, I promise.
Yes, what is it? I don't want to make anything work. Yes, anything. I don't want to make anything work. Yes, what is it?
Easy. When her research is done, she can move out.
What? No, I don't really need any help with the project.
She thinks about it. A glossy look in.
Alright. Bring me the game's offsite copy from my old workspace, if you really want to help. It's stored on a filament memory and I'm unable to go and fetch it myself. No, that's the production schedule you stole and accessed without authorization.
In his defense, it was simply lying in the desk.
Okay, but still. It's a backup of my former employer's.
She's making it.
The backup itself is destroyed now. But I'm hoping to use what's left of it to pinpoint the exact Yeah, that's the one. You can get in through the bookshop. You just have to do some explaining to the bookstore lady. Good. Then you might know the giant ice bear fridge in the building's cellar. The filament is inside the fridge. In the giant ice...
But you've been to the fridge and it wasn't there. There was a note saying...
Wait. A note from whom? Did it specify where they took the filament memory? Jawiza. Of course. Our project lead, Suliswov Jawiza. God, he was always so hell-bent on... Like it would have made a difference. The offsite copy was perfectly safe when the data loss happened. That day and the heads... I won't even get into the head.
Valley of 1,000 Heads. You like the sound of that.
The bookstore lady hates me. Says I'm part of the curse. Of course not. Anyway, I don't have... Because she's from Martinez. And people from Martinez have never ever seen a radio computer. She thinks it emits elemental evil. It doesn't emit. It receives. You sound just like her.
The lieutenant coughs like...
Once I came in one morning, only to find that my terminal was full of those strange trinkets and amulets. Wards. Thanks. And here's my Kvalsund multitool. You might need it to hack loose some ice. It opens everything. If you get me the offsite copy, then you can keep the Kvalsund.
The legendary Kvalsund multi-tool. This glorious multi-tool makes a regular pry bar completely obsolete.
Yes? Thanks. I brought them here. These are great.
Both cables are unplugged. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it, turning the crank, feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. This orange machine is dead. Ice squeaks beneath your coffee, and it's already unplugged. There's not much else to do other than wait for it to defrost or bulk up and get stronger. This orange machine is dead still. Ice groans and howls under the strain of your giant. Darkness lies inside, but you can faintly make out an object. Disappointment washes over you as you stare into the almost empty.
A scoop of ice cream would have been nice, yes.
You gently lift the cube from its frosty bedding.
We should take it back to Miss Lucan and killed as soon as possible. I'm not sure.
Yes, but aren't you curious to know what's on the precious filament?
Yes, what is it? The swallow, you mean? What about it? Great, thanks. Yes? Thanks. Looks like it's the one. Now I'm going to print it out to see what's left of it. I have a theory. Lintel was able to divine the location of the anomaly from this broken copy. I want to repeat their calculation, only this time with better equipment. Watch. What an intricate display of failure.
The paper starts filling out with ink. This is wrong. Machines shouldn't behave like that. Sona doesn't reply, her hands running over the printout.
Here, I found it. Hold on. Shh. Just give me a second.
I've never witnessed a programmer work before.
Done. I've got it. I found the location of the anomaly. I found the coordinates.
Great job.
Thank you! There, in the swallow. Think you can help me again? I need you to go move those water bolts for me.
You like moving things around. Moving.
Just walk over to the circle and follow my instructions. Thanks.
It's awfully silent again, as if some measurements have been marked down around the bowls. Oh boy, this is going to be good. It moves like a ghost without creating a single trace of sound. Some water spills out of the bowl. The lead programmer sends you time to run back, or maybe walk. This is a sick.
Yes?
Yes, what is it? Great. Everything should be aligned now. Yeah, nothing. Now the only thing left to do is to unmute the head. If we got the location right, we should then be able to hear whatever sound this anomaly makes. Honestly, I'm a little... I don't know. That's what I'm scared of. I don't know. It could... I mean, what sound does the nothing make? How can you even listen? What if silence is only what surrounds it, but the swallow itself is... Maybe I'm just tired. Yeah, you're right. Let's do it.
The lieutenant, and then nothing happens. As soon you can hear some small animal cross the floor in the chancel. It's that quiet in this. She doesn't answer. Her eyes closed and brows knit.
Damn it! Yeah, nothing happened. Let's move on. No, my hypothesis was wrong. According to this, I should have heard something if I got the coordinate. But this is just another failure. Silence sounds like silence. That's all it is. You can try on the headphones. See if you can hear anything. But don't get your hopes up.
Everything disappears. You are draped in silence like a drowning man, and then the pressure changes. It feels like flying on an aerostatic, or when your ears pop, or like a subtle difference in that. What if the sound you're looking for is too low for you to hear it?
A better sound system? Alright, but where would we get one?
Suddenly, a rhythmic beat permeates the walls.
They should really allocate some renovation funds to this place.
No. What they really should do is shut down the disco men for disturbing neighborhood peace. You mean the speed freaks? Of course, the speed freaks. They have a fantastic sound system. I guess I could live through a week or two of peaceful coexistence. Sure, let me know how it goes. Thanks.
Hi again. So, how are things going? Yes? What's the deal? We are grateful, Copman. You're a true ally and the augury of a new era of the Nordic dance music. That's fine. We can... And you're still sure about keeping our little side business, right? Fine. We can make do. It's going to take us a bit to move our stuff inside.
Denarian Church, the place to be! Make some noise, my church people!
Vibrations thump through you. He stands on stage. Behind it, the other real deck is empty.
Yeah! Back on the case! Notice the first page of the second chapter!
Could it be? Maybe for him, you only have a chapter or two left in you. Last of the penultimate, more like.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm still in love with the hardcore. Sometimes I just feel like isn't something holding it. It's like it's...
I think it's super hardcore.
If anything, it sounds a bit proto. Like it's not fully...
This is a serious...
Psst. You can hear the would-be leader whisper to his friend. Don't let him know he doesn't understand the fish thing.
Wow! I think you might be right. But how could it become hardcore then? I know it in my heart, but cannot think it in my head. What? Oh, I know!
But there's something else that hasn't failed you.
Uh-huh. Oh. Uh-huh. Oh. No! This is the answer! Yeah! I don't know what I'm doing! Dark Hard Heart?
Basically, yes it is.
Yeah! The first...
Could it be? Maybe for him, you only have a chapter or two left in you. Last of the...
There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes I just feel... Isn't something holding it? It's like it's...
I think it's...
If anything, it sounds a bit proto. Like it's...
It is, isn't it? But how could it become hot? Yeah!
Yes, what is it?
What? What did... I can't hear you!
The music is oh, the project! There's that guy! I need him to plug a 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input so that I can route the audio. He doesn't listen to me! He only ever thanks! Maybe you can get through. Let me know how it goes!
That's a deal! Yeah! Medium car!
To the mega! Yeah! I can. Oh, she uses 3.5. Yeah. The auxiliary line-in is 4.5.
Oh no, we're going to be in.
Don't worry, I have an adapter for it right here. Hang on. This is a 4.5. We're all good, people!
Whoa, thank God.
Great! Someone got through to him. Okay, let's get it off.
Everybody! Everybody! Don't panic! I'm going to turn off the on-off for just a sec. For a special scheduled event. The on-off will be back, but we're doing something else for one moment. All right.
Yes, what is it? Okay, but think you can ask him to turn the volume down a bit? Just
maximum! Maximum is the only way!
I know it is, but could you please turn it down just this instant?
Pump it to the brick! Pump it to the hard master! There's no other way! Glue style!
Glue style? Okay, there literally is no other way. The mixing...
See? He pumps it to the hard master. It's hopeless. Because I'm afraid that something might happen. It's an...
Can't turn down the...
Of course it is.
Yeah! Permanent enlightenment!
Never mind then. Let's get on with our project. I'm going to unmute the speakers on a count of 5.
Egghead pumps his hand up in the air. Wait.
Born ready. Ready.
I'm ready if you two are detectives.
The lieutenant nods stoically. Not so stoically. There's tightness in your chest. Anxiety.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mute disengaged.
No wind outside. No waves. The woman looks around. In the silence, you see dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker vibrates in the air and then stops. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your spine. It's a song inside you, not in the speakers, not in the room. A great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly, it builds until the air around you starts to vibrate. It's out there now, in the world, made manifest. It will devour everything. Floorboards, the glass.
Guys, what's going on?
This fragile world is about to break.
It's getting louder.
In the basins, the water...
Hosiana! Mother of Mega!
He's peaking. The worst high he's ever been on.
The beauty and the beat! The future of dance! Planetary!
No, Egg! It's the window!
In the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside.
The window is going to come down. No, the roof!
Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run.
Come down to earth! Love!
Below it, all the bass grows. Like the jaws of a giant compressor, it's shaking the building's foundation. A great pulse around.
That's it. I'm muting it.
Oh! I want...
Shit! It doesn't stop. A seal? Have you?
Yes, I've turned it off. Andre, pull the compressor! The place is gonna come down!
Fuck! I can't shut it up. The signal's passed.
This is it. A great roar. The vault of the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. It's coming down.
Egg.
I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore.
You did good, Egg. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady.
4 years. 22 people. Millions of reals. All that time? This is what we were up against. Just erased it. Suliswov.
Yeah, but did you record it though? It was dope. I think we can...
Yes, Andre. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some... Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That's a start.
It was very hard not to. I think you're right. There is something going on here.
I promise, officer. We will not play it again. It was mathematical information from the anomaly, presented as a waveform. I have no idea.
A voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the
Yes, our lead designer. And maybe some of the producers too. And some... They need to hear about this. Don't stay here. I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters, maybe meet Suliswov. Also devise further measurements.
I want you to know that's totally chill with us.
I don't care, but thank you anyway.
That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot.
Now, I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary...
Yes, and we have to get back to stabilizing Martin.
Some tiny hard thing lets go in your stomach. You're still alive. All you hear is silence in your head.
And that's a deal! Yeah! It was too hardcore, in fact. It sucks up all the air in the mix until it's the only thing left. Starts compressing itself and everything...
Inside your chest, the heart beats still with the after effects of the sound.
Ah! Ah!
What do we have around here to achieve some sort of parallel processing?
And that's a deal! Yeah! Medium car! And that's a deal! Yeah!
Sidechain the beat. Listen, you can use the compressor to select between which track it's compressing. Either the auxiliaries. The compressor controls the gain based on the level of the signal on the aux sidechain input. It will allow maintaining a loud...
Sidechaining it, you said?
Then he puts on his headphones and his eyes go wide.
Hey, what did you do to Egghead, Cop Man? Did you break him?
Are you ready, pussy?
Noid straightens his back, ready for the beat.
I was born ready, Egg.
On the stage.
This is beauty! This is life!
What in the world is going on? The way melody and...
Your body is taking a beating from the low frequencies crashing over you. It's making you feel alive again.
Introducing the ultimate...
God damn it! This dance club idea might just work out.
DeLorean Church! The place to be!
This is it. This is a new era. The fabric of the world has been irrevocably altered.